what kinds of topics are you talking about in your course?
Wow, we are talking about, it's interesting because a majority of the students are actually very interested in water-related issues. I have more of a sort of traditional hydrocarbon background, so I'm very, from my own research, very much interested in terms of sort of oil, natural gas, what we are going to be doing in the future as it becomes harder to get to that oil and natural gas, especially oil. And as I think as we experienced over the last 5 months with the Gulf oil spill, as we will continue to go to harder to reach places to find that oil, what we need to do in terms of to protect the environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And working with sort of this next generation, you said they're concerned about water and probably water access in the developing world diminishing, I'm imagining. How much do you think their perspective going to drive the direction of climate change response?
That's a great question. I think we've only had one class so far, but I think my general sort of sense is that there's a feeling of disappointment, I think, among students, that I think they had hoped that there would be much more political will here in the United States, that they would see more, a stronger position being taken with regards to climate change. And I think that what we saw over the summer with sort of it really sort of falling short on, I think, the optimist expectations. And I think, unfortunately, many countries were waiting for the United States to take a stronger position, and we didn't. So I had a group of students up to Canada in the spring to visit the oil sands, and they were very curious as to Canada's positions, because the oil sands are sort of recognized to be sort of, in terms of their carbon emissions, higher than conventional oil. And, what we were hearing from government officials is that, we're going to wait and see what the United States does. And, the United States really didn't sort of stand up.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of, students, I wish some of my students were actually here today, because they could then sort of really consider all the possibilities, both the small, very entrepreneurial possibilities in terms of like how you get energy from going over the bumps, but also in terms of the more sort of transformational, very large transformational things that are happening with regards to the technology, such as the sensing data, the sort of the sensing technology, and in terms of what that can mean, so that we are, even if we have a harder time controlling our own behavior, this new technology would actually sort of turn the lights off, do things that we may forget to do. So I think it's quite interesting in terms of what the possibilities and potential are for that.